Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2025 Valspar Championship betting preview with some players recap and a little Masters discussion. I'm back in the saddle. DB here with my boy Pat Perry, coming off a bender for St. Patrick's Day in Savannah. Sure to wear his green. He's also got his red on. Most of that's around the whites in his eyes. But
that's right.
Pat, thanks for showing up and showing out. I know. We've had some battles over the last couple of weeks, me included last week, with the Montezuma's Revenge in my butthole region. So thank you to you and Matt.
Prayers to your butthole. Glad your butthole's fine now.
Yeah, it's all good now. Appreciate it. Norovirus is not to be messed with, and it had me down very bad. It hit me on Sunday.
I thought only like babies got that, DB.
No, this is a new thing. In fact, Spaz in the Discord said he got it in the fall too, and it wrecked him as well. So you can quit with the rumor mill. Well, I thought only babies got this. Shut up. Dude, you would have been in the fetal position. I'm sure
I would have.
Awful. I mean, I know you. I didn't want to miss the players preview. Like, it's the players. If this were like the 3M, I'd be like, cool. I hated to miss the players, but you and Matt did a great job. I did actually end up watching it because I had some, time on my hands, and you guys did a good job. You kind of dogged me a little too hard for the Russell Henley thing. I would have loved to defend myself on that from the.
I'm sure. Yeah, well, we had to though because you weren't there, so we could.
I know, and I'm not gonna get on it now. It's old news. Even though if that ball hadn't hit the flag stick, it'd still be rolling and be at Epcot by now. So yeah. No big deal. But Matt is actually not going to join us tonight. This is the first episode of the year. Matt's not with us. He is he's playing some big tournament in Vegas, and he's not able to do it. So it's me and Pat tonight, taking it back old school. Year 10 of the Tour Junkies, previewing the Valspar. We're going to get to it. Our favorite betting picks outright. It's early leans for now because the weather looks cray-cray. Some top 20 thoughts. I've got some serious pivots, Pat, that I'm excited about. Some 6K bays, if you will. Love some of those. I want to talk through that, but I know you had a good week in the DFS streets at the Players Championship. We'll talk about that in a second. But before we recap the players, I want to thank our friends at SoBet for just continuing to put out an amazing platform. Over 100 handicappers now vetted and approved and operating on SoBet, giving you bets every single day for dozens of different sports, literally all of them. And it is March Madness season, which means you'd be crazy not to be in on SoBet, tailing your favorite handicappers. You got the leaderboard feature that tells you what cappers are hot and not. Logic around every play, unit allocations around every play. Fantastic platform by our friends at SoBet. You can get it for just $1 if you click our link. Use that code TJ2025. That pre-fills will get you all set up. We've been using SoBet for a few years now. Love it. Love the platform. If you support Tour Junkies, consider supporting SoBet. All right. Listen, we don't ask you to do a whole lot. We really don't. Like, watch the show, listen to the show. Follow us on social, join the Discord, subscribe to a free email, and it's like, give SoBet a try. If you don't like it, you can cancel it if you want, and give BTN a try. And if you don't like it, you can cancel it. That's what we ask you to do. It's very simple. It's not a lot. So if you appreciate our content, we put hours of work into this every single week. Not as many hours as we used to, but we still do. And it's all free. So do that. Rory McIlroy. Let's see, where is it? Tony would be quicker on this. Oh, I know we had the. I thought we had the drop. We don't. Okay, we don't.
I thought somewhere.
Rory drop. We don't. Anyway.
Well, if we did this more, you'd probably know where it was. But
no, I'm looking at the drops. We don't have it.
I don't have
this one. I got that one. But yeah, I don't have a Rory. Anyway, Rory wins. JJ Spawn aggregate playoff. I think JJ showed up today. It could have been a doppelganger. Could have been a JJ
me
stunt double.
Yeah.
But Rory takes it down. Second win this year. Both coming on kind of these shorter courses. Not shorter, but like less than driver type tracks. He does it on the heels of kind of being this, in the middle of this controversy right before, when he took the young lad's phone on the ropes and turned it in and got the guy kicked out of the course, and people were not happy with him on social media. He got kind of heckled a little bit, kind of booed a little on Sunday, leaned into it all and got it done. I say it's an impressive performance, and I want to pose to you I want to stick on Rory first, and then we can tie any bows around the players we want. But just the body of work at Pebble, now at TPC Sawgrass for his second player's victory in his career. And as we approach the Masters, Pat, Masters is coming every year for the last however many years, definitely since we've been doing this show. One of the biggest questions everyone wants to know is Rory finally going to get it done? And when you look at the state of his game, where really I think he won today, I guess, without his best stuff. And Augusta is certainly a golf course that suits him far greater than the players in a far weaker field. And then you add on to that, not just his momentum coming into Augusta. Probably not going to see him again until the week before at the Valeros, kind of what he alluded to today. But then there's question marks around other guys, right? Like Scotty's kind of been, man, for Scotty.
I don't think he's happy with his game right now. He's very frustrated.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
You got Xander doing me. You got Ludd kind of like being awesome one week and being very sub-awesome another week. You got JT and Jordan are wild and everywhere. You got Morikawa's looking pretty dialed, but can Morikawa not be a beta for the weekend? Can he close? Cantlay looks solid, but he's just very much like Cantlay, just kind of mid. Are the biggest concerns for Rory at this point Rory, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, and John Rahm? Maybe Joaquin Niemann, who just won for his second time this year on Live. Colin Morikawa. Are those, and maybe a mid Scotty Scheffler? Like, are those the biggest concerns standing in the way between Rory getting his first Masters and completing the career Grand Slam? What do you think about this week's performance and then going into the Masters for Rory?
Well, first off, I think this week's performance was pretty damn good. And you're right. He didn't have his best stuff. But I mean, I think Rory's the best player in the world right now. I mean, I know everybody loves Scotty.
I agree.
And everybody,
now, he is.
Right this second, Rory McIlroy is
and Sepp Straka.
And Sepp, yeah. Sepp. They're the two best players in the world. And I think after the way you put it too is like amazing. Like, because of all the struggles that all these different players are having, you're kind of right. It's sort of the Live players that might be the biggest challenge.
They always have question marks too. Like when we go into the Masters, you're like, well, I don't know.
Well, nobody knows.
Cam Smith, like we don't even know.
I think Brooks is going to be ready. I think Koepka's going to be ready, and I think Niemann's obviously playing very well right now.
Remember what he did last year? Like
I know.
All of a sudden, he elevated at Augusta last year and was like, hey, I understand what I did wrong those first few times. Like I think Bryson is very live at Augusta, and Niemann playing as well as he is.
I agree, but I think Rory's biggest issue is himself, which you mentioned early.
And college kids with cell phones.
Yeah, but the deal is that no cell phones are out at the Masters, so we don't have to worry about that.
That's true.
So he's fine. I think that Rory's biggest thing at the Masters is definitely himself. He puts a lot of pressure on himself to win that golf tournament. We know that. It's every year. Dare I say, DB, that there's just, it feels to be like a little bit something different about Rory this year. I don't know what it is. He's not being as beta as he normally is. If you want to say he was beta to take the kid's cell phone, maybe. But things are happening for him. I think that putt on the 72nd hole could have lipped out for Rory.
Boy,
could have lipped out for Rory. And then we'd be having a whole different conversation that Rory can't close.
I mean, the 5-footer he had for birdie on 16 to get the aggregate started today.
Yeah.
Was a little nervy right off the bat.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe things are falling his way. But I still would worry about betting him for the Masters because I just, we get into this trap every single year with him. Now I wasn't.
I don't. I know
I do. I do.
I've never been myself in said trap.
Yeah, well, I have.
He's currently 6.5 to 1 on DraftKings.
So he's not the favorite. Scotty's still the favorite. Kind of surprised. I thought they'd be about even, to be honest.
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you have to give this to Scotty. I mean, with the Augusta edge and the history and all that stuff, I think you have to. Scotty has done nothing to not be the favorite right now. I agree with you that in the last 4 weeks since Scotty started playing again, like Rory or however many weeks, Rory has been the best player in that time frame, and Sepp Straka. Over that, he's number one in that time frame. But big picture, long term, Scotty's still the GOAT right now, and he's obviously got the edge at Augusta. But 6.5 to 1. I mean, I'm not interested, but I would never be interested in that.
Well, I of course would love for Rory to win. I mean, I think it'd be
I think I would too, Pat. Can I say that? Is it safe to say that? Like I've been a noted Rory denier and hater, but I think I'm actually with you too. I think I want him to win it. I think I do. I want him to win it. I want him to win it.
I feel like you're growing up, DB. You've grown up some.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have. Look at the
norovirus did you well.
Look at the bend on my bill.
Yeah.
I wonder if remember that shark boy that used to be in the comments in our YouTube all the time that would talk about my hat?
Yeah.
I wonder if
he'd always say you jumped the shark.
Yeah.
You know what he said?
Yeah.
Maybe he'd be like, hey, DB hasn't jumped the shark anymore. He's back to normal.
If you're out there, let me know. I will say I didn't like the move with the kid's phone. I will say that. We don't have to get into all that, but I thought that I didn't like it. I think that was actually kind of lame. Now, I also think that just because you have a ticket doesn't give you the right to yell whatever you want at players. I think that's dumb. And I've never, as a 19, 20-year-old kid, which this kid is, I can't empathize with the feeling of wanting to go to a golf tournament and like legitimately heckle a golfer. Now, we've yelled funny things to like guys we like or guys we know or whatever, but I've never wanted to legitimately say it to like actually get under the skin of a golfer. That doesn't have any appeal to me. But these young kids these days, I think that's what they want to do. They want to roast you. They want to rage bait you. They want to, do that for social clout or whatever, and they're going to video themselves doing it. But so I think that's also a bad move on that kid's part, and I hope he learned his lesson. Sounds like he probably did. But the best thing Rory could have done is nothing.
Yeah.
Or actually, maybe the best thing he could have done is walk over to that kid quietly without a lot of fanfare and just be like, hey, man, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great day out here. I hope you continue to have a great day out here. Hey, be less of a ding dong.
Yeah, that would have been.
Pat him on the shoulder. Be like, have a sawgrass splash on me if you're of age, and let's just whatever. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But anyway, other thoughts on the Players Championship, Pat?
Well, I had a good DFS week actually for once.
I saw your name on in the leaderboard streets as I was scrolling a couple contests.
Yeah, I was up there on a few, so could have been really good. Could have been really good if Alex Smalley. You talk about a beta. Alex Smalley's kind of a beta.
Such a beta. Did you see him? What was it in the Was it in a video recently, or was it a Netflix thing, Full Swing thing, where he's in the room and he's the only guy in the room with a mask on? And this was not like a 2020 clip.
Yes. Well,
I'm sorry, but if you're still a mask wearer right now, I just come off a norovirus, and you listen to our show and you're offended by that, then screw you. I actually don't want you listening to our show. Go somewhere else. But if you're wearing a mask right now indoors, you're a beta. And Alex Smalley.
Yeah, well, Alex Smalley's a beta. And then what happened?
You get him on your card and in your DFS lineups, and he was playing.
I know. It's kind of pissed me off because I still went with him, even though that's what he is. But the kid is, he's a good player, but whatever. I think a couple other thoughts I have. Willie Z. What the hell happened to him on Saturday? Willie Z sitting there, and I have him on my card, and have him in some good DFS lineups.
And we talked about him in the Wednesday night live chat. I made an appearance in the live chat in the Discord.
Well, I had dinner with his caddy.
We got some great intel from you on Willie Z, and I'm like, holy crap, here we go.
Yeah, he's back.
And then
back. The ball strike. he just Willie Z got blown away with the wind.
Yeah.
Just absolutely blown away.
Vaporized.
I mean, I don't know if I've seen me do that, what he did.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I actually did it yesterday.
But I mean, what did he went like triple? No, he went quad and then double. Like he didn't even get it back together at all. Like, did he even make a par on that after he made
did
the
the next day? He did the next day.
Jeez.
I went back and looked too. Like, it's not here. I'll even show. I'll show this. I went back and looked at it. Looked at it when I saw. Come on, trying to share my screen here to show his scorecard from that day because I was looking at. Here it is. It's on BTN. So, if you go and look at the actual shot tracker too, this is from round 3. He gets a quad on number 14, which was the hardest hole on the golf course.
Yeah.
I went back and looked at shot tracker too, and it wasn't just one thing. Now, he did miss 2 short putts in this little span.
Yeah.
He missed like a 4-footer and a 3-footer or 2 4-footers or something. It was 2 short ones. Because I was like, surely he's not just ping-ponging the ball around the green with the putter like he used to. But he kind of did on a couple putts. But it was also some driver. It was also some iron. It was like all of the above. But yeah, he goes quad, double, par 16, rinses
Easy
1,
hole.
double on 17, and then bogeys on 18.
I mean, you have to remember that he's one shot off the lead before this happens. Like, it was not even like he was right there.
So miserable. Yeah, that was tough.
That was upsetting to me. The other thing too, because I know we're going to get into him in a little bit too, but Sepp Straka continues to really play fantastic golf.
Dude, he is dialed.
Just absolutely dialed in.
Every week when you come to the golf course and you're this, I just wonder what this is like, because let me read to you the strokes gained approach that he has had in 2025, starting with the century. Okay. 3.6, 4.4, 2.3, 4.5, 5.6, lost 4.8. I think he got the norovirus.
Yes, that was at the Genesis, right?
Yep. Then gained 5, gained 4.6, gained 4.5 last week of the Players. Like, when you are that dialed with your irons, God, I would just love to know what that feels like. Your swing thought, like, you just show up each week and go like, I wonder if it's still there, and you get to the range, you're like, yep, still there. Whatever that thought is, whatever that feel is, unreal. God, he's unconscious right now with his irons.
Yeah, he really is. He's been great. I don't know, DB, if I got any other thoughts on the play. I mean, JJ Spaun, we obviously haven't even really talked about him. Look, JJ Spawn's a good player.
Yeah.
He's just, I don't know. He had his chance on the 72nd hole, and that's when he needed to win it, and he didn't. And then today, I was curious as if he'd ever played golf today or in his life. But, it is what it is. So
I will say he actually popped highly in my model. I don't have it pulled in front of me, but I remember seeing him high up in the model and just being like, no. But I started thinking about it yesterday. I mean, the Players is when you have a week like this, where I'd say it was a pretty standard Players week in terms of weather. We had a little wind, we had a little bit of a delay, kind of what happens. But Pete Dye is this is a very much iron golf. This is, and I know we say this every week, but like, this is a ball strike iron players golf course. They don't have to, and it's not necessarily long irons, which you get a lot of other places. This is just like middle of the bag, little bit of wedging, like really good iron players. And JJ Spaun is that. He is that. He's going to hit fairways, and he's a really good iron player. He is a good ball. So good for him. But the leaderboard is littered with guys like that. By the way, Sepp Straka 80-1 for the Masters right now. I mean, I don't know. I'm so in on Sepp Straka. Still, I'm continuing to ride it. Very much in on Sepp Straka. Another late name that we talked about in the Wednesday night chat, I brought up, and as a pivot play. And if you played him, you probably did quite well. and you're pretty happy. And actually, you know what? I'm going to tease it. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm going to bring him up later in the show.
Okay, good.
Up later in the show. All right, let's talk a little Masters. Before we do, I want to thank our friends at Bet the Number. Bet the Number, the place to be for golf data analytics. All that good stuff is found on Bet the Number. It's where our models go every single week. You can track the live tournament scoring, which is what I just showed on screen with Willie Z. It updates live. PGA Tour Shot Link affiliated, so the data comes in live. It's fantastic. Everything you need. Build your model. My model gets published to the general public every single week, as well as the BTN proprietary model. You've got the head-to-head matchup analyzer tool, which is what I've been using to continue to crush it over there on SoBet. 13, 2, and 1 in matchups on SoBet in 2025 with the head-to-head matchup analyzer tool that BTN's using. It's a tremendous site, tremendous tools, great people, good value on the site. Very easy to understand and navigate. Not like some of these other sites with all kind of filters and overload and blah, 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 blah. The folks at BTN know what they're doing. They worked behind the scenes for the U.S. Ryder Cup team a couple years. They currently still work with multiple players on the PGA Tour to analyze data and golf courses every single week. So they understand what we're trying to do and accomplish, and they leave out all the noise. So sure, we could add more crap to BTN, but you don't need it. And it's just noisy. So check it out. Click the link in the description. Use code TJ. Get yourself a discount. It's good stuff. Pat, I want to share something. Let's watch this together.
Okay.
Did you see this today?
No, I have not seen this.
The Masters put this video out, and it gets me in my feels. Everyone hold on to your units. Okay, here we go. You hear it?
I hear it.
I've seen it all. I've seen grown men cry on a cloudless Sunday afternoon, and late bloomers in early spring. I've seen armies form for kings, tigers hunting, bears charging, maybe. Yes, sir. All while I've stood my ground. I've seen life after sudden death, when getting lost in the woods reveals a path to victory. I've seen patrons lose their breath, then lose their minds. New chapters added to storied legacies, and history rewritten with a single stroke. After all these years, after all this magic,
that's where it really slapped me right there.
Yeah,
I've seen it all.
Ready.
That is until every April rolls around, and then I realize maybe I haven't.
Bravo, Augusta National team doing their thing. God, it gets me fired up for Augusta, for the Masters right around the corner, bud. I can feel it over here in Augusta, right down the street. There's pollen in the air. You know what that means? Got my amen hat on. Oh, buddy, I'm feeling it.
It's getting that time. I'm feeling it too. Feeling more of the pollen, probably. That may be why my eyes are red, DB. Not the St. Patty's Day celebrations.
You know what I was thinking about watching that video? We don't have enough. We haven't had a couple good like player mascot nicknames in a while. You know, like the Bear.
You're right.
King and the Black Knight and Tiger. I mean, I know his name, but well, kind of. You know, like everybody's just Scotty and Hideki and Jordan.
Hey, you're right. We haven't had a good name.
Somebody, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and also comment somebody we could nickname for Augusta. We need some. I feel like we're due for a good animal nickname for somebody on tour.
Yeah.
We had the Walrus. Remember, we had the Walrus.
Yes.
Like Stadler. Who else do we have?
Why are we not naming these golfers?
That's what I'm saying. We should have
anymore.
We need to pick a player to campaign and
for an animal name.
Yeah.
And then if they win the Masters, it will have to stick. And then that player will have a logo like a bear, like, Jack Nicklaus has.
And then we will get royalties for life.
Yeah.
For selling apparel.
We'll be rich. What a great idea, DB.
So let's brainstorm that. We got to workshop that a little bit. I think we need that.
All right.
And I'm going to start with Siwoo. I'm going to start thinking about a good one for Siwoo. What's the
the meerkat? I don't know. I feel like somebody
I looked up the national animal for South Korea, and it's a tiger. That tiger's already taken.
No, yeah, it can't be.
You know what the national fruit is for South Korea? It's actually my most hated fruit. I hate this fruit. I think it's a terrible. I don't know anyone that likes this fruit. I don't know one person. Once they become like a year old, they stop liking. They don't care.
A pear?
Yes, a pear.
Yeah.
And the reason you knew that is because everything I said about it is true. Who likes a pear?
I don't know if anybody I've seen eat a pear. Like nobody comes in and like, if there's a pear sitting in the kitchen on the kitchen counter, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I want to have this pear."
Yeah, because they assume it's a fake pear because no one actually buys a real pear. They said they buy the fake pear, and it's intermingled with like a real orange or a real apple. No one buys a real pear. Imagine.
And have you ever like you can't like you never have a salad? Like I don't like salad with fruit in it anyway, but
I do.
There's never a pear in a salad. There's never like where are you even cooking with a pear? Because like a lot of fruits people like because they cook with it or something. Like in
a homeless encampment, maybe that's where all the pears go.
I
think that's where they should go. Help the homeless.
Yeah. Give away a pear.
We should nickname Pot Geeter the pear. I mean, he's shaped like a pear.
He is kind of shaped like a pear.
All right, well, we'll workshop the Siwoo thing. We'll have to workshop that. Man. Anyway, what tournament are we talking about this week? Is it the Valspar?
Valspar, yeah, Valspar. It's in near Tampa.
Oh yeah, right. Copperhead.
Yeah, this is now. Speaking of names, this is another named golf course with. Well, it has like the
two names,
the snake pit. We had the bear trap a couple weeks ago. Now we have the snake pit.
Yeah,
this is a good run of tournaments where you have we'll have. I mean, even Augusta, we have Amen Corner.
But the bear trap, the bear trap is not the bear trap anymore. I actually vote to nullify that. They've pussified it, is what they've done. It's like like what happened in America a few years back. We're getting it back. We're getting our balls back in America now, but the bear trap is lagging. It's lagging.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a bear trap anymore. It's lame.
I agree.
We, a golf course that does have teeth other than Copperhead Innisbrook is the one that they'll be playing for the U.S. Ryder Cup in September at Bethpage, and we are going, and we want our friends to come with us. So if you click on the link in the description for the Ryder Cup, our friends at Elite Events and Tickets are selling a heck of a package to you people. The ultimate Ryder Cup and golf getaway with me and Pat in New York City in September. We kick it off with a Yankees game on Thursday night. Then we're going to play a 27-hole Ryder Cup style tournament at a nice little muni right there out near Manhattan on Friday, September 26th. We're going to play some golf. We're going to have some fun. Me and Pat, you're going to play with us. We're going to have some teams. It's going to be great. We're going to drink. We're going to eat. We're going to gamble. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have breakfast and food, lunch, and all that provided at the golf course. Then on Saturday, we're all going to descend on Bethpage. Me, Pat, Tour Junkies gang, all of us going to descend on Bethpage and enjoy the Ryder Cup experience. And Saturday night, a private viewing at a nice bar in Manhattan for the Georgia-Alabama game going on Saturday night. And then for those of you that want to stay and keep it rolling, we'll go back to the golf course on Sunday for Ryder Cup singles with me and Pat. Click the link in the description. We've got a deal set up at a hotel there in Midtown Manhattan. All transportation's covered as well to and from the golf courses and the events and all that I just listed. And of course, tickets and all that stuff. But I will say this, if you can't do one of the packages or something doesn't work quite out, but you want to have a piece of something in this deal, then just fill out the form on the website linked in the description here. And the good folks here at Elite Events, I promise you will take care of you. We've known them for as long as we've been doing this show. They're great people, and they do events, every major sporting event you can think of all year round. They do a great job, and they're just a great staff, great group of folks. So call them up or fill out that form and just say, hey, I need to ask some questions. I need to maybe customize this a little more. They'll hook you up. So we'd love for you, as many of you as possible, to come to Bethpage on in September for the Ryder Cup. It's going to be great. All right, we don't have Matt this week. We do need to hit our season-long bet, but the guys have not just sent us the bets, and I feel like Matt is probably not in a good place mentally. So maybe we'll just draft those on the side, and we'll update the people. But I will say that Tony obviously went from the Braves. He was 91 Braves.
My goodness.
Worst of first because he had Rory last week, winning $4.5 million. He's now in first place. I'm in second. You're in third. Matt is in fourth for the season-long bet. We'll update that on the side. We know what Valspar is. We know what Innisbrook demands. It's kind of a, it's a par 71. There's water. There's dog legs. There's wind. By the way, there does look to be some serious wind on Thursday and Friday, and I think we all kind of need to be cautious with our bets for now. I'm not really into early firing at the moment until tee times come out, until we get a little clearer picture. I don't think we do that yet just because of the weather wave advantages and the potential for that. But that's coming. We've seen flushers like Paul Casey dominate here, but we've also seen guys get really hot with the flat stick. Sam Burns, Peter Malnati last year came out of nowhere with poor form and just gained 10 strokes putting and won. Taylor Moore won here. We've seen Patrick Reed play well here in the past. So, it's a little bit of again, kind of a precision course. You don't have to be a bomber. Just be precise, avoid the trouble. They're small greens, and the GIR rate is low. If you look on Bet the Number, a lot lower greens in regulation than normal on PGA Tour. So you got to be able to scramble a little bit and then be comfortable on these Bermuda greens. That is Copperhead, Innisbrook. And let's lead it off, Pat, with the top of the board. Give me a couple of your first favorite early leans. Again, we're not committing because we haven't seen weather wave, but early leans at the top.
Well, I mean, obviously, Sepp Straka is going to be one of those that I'm going to have an early lean to. He's at 22-1 on DK. I just don't feel like any of those top three and Fleetwood, JT, and Xander really, I don't really want to go with any of those guys. So Sepp's going to be the first one to me. And then, right there, I mean, this is one event where for some reason I end up leaning more towards the top of the board. And, we've seen a guy like Sam Burns win it a couple times. A lot of favorites I feel like tend to, be up here and win this golf tour. Other than, was it Malnati last year that won? But still. So I do like the next two, and Shane Lowry and Corey Connors. I like both those guys. They're both at 25-1. Both have been playing some fantastic golf. I mean, Corey Connors is coming off of a third and at the API and then a 6 at the Players. Just a fantastic ball striker. If he could just get the freaking putter together, he can win this golf tournament. This feels like a great tournament for Corey Connors. So I like both Lowry and Connors and Sepp. All right there in that, around that 25-1 range.
Wow, how far we've come. We used to be a show that would give you names that,
I know.
Not everybody else will give you. We used to be like, oh, yeah, anybody can tell you to bet the top of the board. And then here comes Pat, 3 names, top of the board.
Yep.
Now, I like all three. But if I had to narrow it down, it's Sepp and it's Corey Connors. I'm freaking Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry, I don't know. I'm starting to develop a trust issue with Shane. I'm building up some scar tissue. I've had a lot of Shane Lowry over the years, and he pops and he starts off really well, and he crumbles over the weekend. Like, he's got a little bit of a Morikawa issue. My son and I were watching Full Swing the other night, and they were showing the Open, and I was reminded I had the Shane Lowry ticket, and he's 7 under going into the weekend, and then he's a ghost on the weekend. The winning score was 9 or 10 under, I think. Xander won it like 9 or 10. I think I'm out on Shane for a minute. Talk to me at Augusta. So for me, it's Sepp and it's Connors. Just tough to deny how well those two are playing right now. Obviously, very easy to figure that out if you look at any website. But also, this is Connors' time of year. His only wins have come in the 2 weeks leading up to Augusta. So his circadian rhythm, right? His cycle is premium right now. So yeah, I'm going Connors. I'll work us towards the middle of the board a little bit. This one you might not get on a ton of shows. Maybe you will. But I got a little birdie today that I talked to, that said that this player figured out a little something that had been missing at Sawgrass. And I'm talking about JT Poston at 45 to 1. This year has been a weird year for him. He has been one of the best putters on the PGA Tour since he's been out there. And this year he's putted like vintage Luke List. I mean, terrible. He lost almost 10 strokes putting at the Arnold Palmer. 10. He's not gained any strokes putting in 2025 except for this week. He gained 5.7. He's been hitting his irons really well, which normally that can be kind of erratic for JT Poston. So I like the turnaround with the putter. I like that we saw that. He had his best finish at the Valspar in 2023, his last time out that he played it. That was a T10. We know that JT can pop up at any moment and win a golf tournament. That is what he has done. He can close, he can win. The end. So the full body of the player is a guy who typically is a decent iron player when he's hot and has a great short game. And I think that'll bode well here, as it has for people like Patrick Reed, Paul Casey with his short game, Burns and Malnati flat stick. So I'm going JT at 45. And then you know what I'm doing here, Pat? I'm turning over another new leaf here. Not only am I coming around on Rory, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to look at him. But, Peter Malnati, Goofy Hat Peter won it last year. I think we go back to back with goofy hats. Joe Highsmith at 80 to 1. Like, your Pat is completely zoned out right now. Just absolutely.
I'm actually zoned out trying to find Joe Highsmith. I literally am trying to find him in here.
He's 80 to 1.
Okay, now I see him.
He's coming off a win in Florida that, he preceded with a T17 in Mexico, missed the cut at API, whatever. Who cares? That was his first event at Bay Hill, and it was right after his win. Don't care. Then he backs it up with a T20 at the Players last week. Gained strokes across the board in every category. And I was starting to, when I looked at it, I was like, God, I don't like this guy. And then I was like, no, you know what? I don't like the Brian guy, the guy before him. I really don't like that guy. The guy that won Mexico.
Yeah, Brian Campbell.
Can't stand that guy. But this guy, it's like, I hate his goofy hat, but if he didn't have his goofy hat, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of a younger, maybe up-and-comer guy. Not a lot of flash, doesn't hit it super far, but I kind of like, he's okay. It's the hat that messes with me. But I think we could have a weird week again, and I'm rolling Joe Highsmith at 80.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the last one. Can I give you my last one since I'm cooking?
Yeah, go ahead.
My last one is the one I teased earlier that I mentioned in the Discord chat Wednesday night that I think was coming around. We know is coming around, and played him in DFS last week. He did good for me. Had a lot of Ludwig paired with him, which really sucked, but he finished T20. Max McGreevy.
Yeah.
Max McGreevy is quite dialed right now. Very dialed. Some say he could be contending for top max on the PGA Tour, along with Max Gracerman. So Max McGreevy is looking good. He's 90 to 1. I'm interested. Second trip around the sun, getting his PGA Tour card, then losing it, now earning it back this season. I'm in on Max McGreevy at 90. Those are my 5 that I'm early leaning at the moment. I got a few bombs, but I think they're more top 20s, maybe some DFS pivots. That's it.
Okay. I like him because I actually had JT Poston starred. I was thinking about him. Just above him though at 40 to 1. I think I'm still in on Michael Kim. I know that everybody leaned in finally on Michael Kim after such a long run of great play last week, and he didn't have the best week. But look, it's just that course can do it to a player. I think you go back to Michael Kim this week. He's 40 to 1. I still like him. I still like the way he's playing. So I'm not going to let last week's result really, judge him too much to what happened this week, or what can happen this week. So I'll go with Michael Kim there at 40 to 1. I still like Jake Knapp. He's at 50 to 1. He's been playing fantastic. He's got 4 straight top 25 finishes. Finished T12 last week on a course that I didn't necessarily think was the best fit for him, but just the way he's he's ball striking right now. It's so good. So I do like some Jake Knapp. He is at 50-1. I was going to mention Max McGreevy. So I thought for a second you weren't going to even talk about him, which was going to surprise me when you were talking about Joe Highsmith right there in that range. But yeah, I do like McGreevy. The last one for me, DB, shout out to Big P, my dad, Rico Hoey
Oh,
at
love some
100-1.
Hoey.
Now, Rico, I have your model, your BTN model up, DB.
Crushes it.
He is third in the model.
Yep.
It
I
was
like Rico.
T25 at the Cognizant a couple weeks ago, T33 last week. I like Rico Hoey a lot. He is at 100-1. So
Agree. Shout out Big P.
Yeah.
All right, top 20s. Locks. I got Corey Connors at plus 120, and I'm going to get weird. Yes, I am going to lock it up. Top 20, Max McGreevy. 3-1. Top 20, Max McGreevy. My bomb is friend of the podcast, friend of the Tour Junkies, fellow champions member. I know I bet him all the time. Plus 550, Henrik Norlander. Didn't have a great week last week, but give me the flusher. Give me the iron player. If there's anybody down in this range, it's a veteran that's a great iron player with a decent short game, can't putt. That's Henrik Norlander. And that also sounds like Paul Casey, who won here twice. Like, give me Henrik Norlander at plus 550. I think Henrik has a good week this week.
Okay. I like it. All right. My locks. Got to go with Sepp plus 125. And then I'm going to go with the guy that we were talking about earlier, who is a beta, but I do think he finishes in the top 20 this week. And that's Alex Smalley. He is at 2-1 plus 200. Those are my two locks. And you know what, DB? I feel like we need to give this guy a shout out because he played exceptionally well last week. And I walked with him for 3 holes, 3 excruciatingly long holes in the practice round on Tuesday. It took almost an hour, David, to play 3 holes. 1, 2, and 3 at the Players Championship. Walked with Justin Lauer, Chad Ramey, and Danny Walker. Danny Walker finishes in the top 10 last week. I'm not kidding you because we waited a long time on number 2 tee. I'm sitting there Googling him, and I'm like, not only was I Googling him, but I was trying to figure out how he even got into the field. Now, he wasn't even in the field yet, but they can play in a practice round. He was like the first alternate, and of course, he got in because Jason Day withdrew. And I still don't even know how he was an alternate. Like, I don't even know where he got to the point where he could even be an alternate, but he was, and he made the most of it. Danny Walker's plus 500 as a top 20. I think he keeps it going, DV, and gets the top 20. And
I like that.
He's
was he a nice guy? Did you talk to him?
Super nice. Yeah. For a brief second, he was dialed in trying to, hit it way right on number 2. And it's kind of funny. The players were talking because he hit a great shot out of the rough. And they were like, you must have been over there before. And I guess he played there a lot because he was like, oh yeah, I've been over here plenty of times. But nice kid out of Virginia to Virginia, UVA.
Nice. All right, let's talk a little DFS. I think, and again, we'll see what the weather waves do. We'll see what ownership projections look like. We get our aggregate ownership projections that our boy Spaz puts out in the Discord every single week, accumulating about 5 or 6 different ownership projection sites, adding them all up, seeing what's out there. Very accurate stuff, but we'll see what all that comes out to be. I think I can eat whatever chalk I want to eat this week because there's only like 3 names that I like that could be chalky, and I really would want, and that's Sepp, Connors, and Fleetwood. Are all at the top. Don't mind any of it because I have so many potential pivots down here that I'm willing to roll with that I think will be low single digits, mid single digit ownership to kind of give me my unique lineup because I do think we're going to get those guys at the top show up. Again, weather dependent. But other than that, is there any other chalk that you'd be interested in or other chalk you think is going to have? Who do you think is going to be the most popular up there or out of those 3? What do you think?
I mean, I think when you're looking at the chalk at the top, I think you're definitely going to see Sepp is going to be I think Sepp's going to be the highest owned DB.
Yeah, he should be. He's the number 1 player in this field.
I think he's going to be highest owned. I think you're going to see. Here's where I think the pivot is Sam Burns.
Yeah. That will be that will be a high-end pivot for sure.
Yeah. There you go. That's all I got. I don't really have much else, DB.
Yeah, you're not an ownership guy, so I'm sorry I shouldn't have put that.
You know I'm not an ownership guy. So
yeah. Pivots. Give me your pivots. Talk through a few of your pivots, and I'll hit you with my 6K bays and other pivots.
Well, I think Sam Burns is a pivot. I think Tom Kim is DB. They're at
probably doesn't look good.
9,200. He hasn't been great lately, but I still think he's still a good player. I think he could be a decent pivot. I think I like JT Poston in the 8K range as a pivot.
Love that. Wonder if he'll be how much of a pivot he'll be, but I love it.
I don't know.
I'm playing him for sure.
I tell you another one that I like in the 7K range is Ben Griffin. He had a good stretch at Mexico and then Cognizant, which was just a few weeks ago. Don't forget, but didn't play well in great fields in the API and then the players. But I do think Ben Griffin in that 7K range could be a decent pivot. The other one, I think maybe Steven Yeager. Maybe. I don't know.
I'll probably pass on that one.
But so there you go. That's kind of the top end. And then we let you.
Yeah. Your boy Rico's 7K. I don't mind the Rico play down there, Rico Hoey. Kevin Roy at 7,100. Pop for me. Looks good in DB's model as well. Terrible short game, but really good ball striker overall. We'll see how that goes. Max McGreevy, who we've already talked about ad nauseum. I think people will start turning up on Max a little bit. I think he might get a little love. I wonder what people are going to do with Ryan Gerard at 7,500. He was pretty popular, I feel like, a few weeks ago at that alternate event that he kind of didn't do great. I wonder if folks soured on him a little bit, but I like Gerard a lot in this field at 7,500. But the 6K bays, we gave Matt a lot of crap about Davis Riley for the first 3 weeks of the year.
We did.
But he is at least showing signs of life. There is a pulse under Davis Riley. And he does have some very strong finishes in his career. And I believe one of them was here, right? Yes, he finished, runner-up in 2022. But T38 at the Players, T6 at Puerto Rico. It's just, it's not, I don't love it, but I'm interested, and his upside intrigues me. I'm continuing to monitor the situation that is our friend Grayson Sigg. I don't understand why Sigg is struggling the way that he is on Bermuda surfaces at the moment, or just in general with the flat stick. It's very bad, but when he figures that out, his ball striking and tee to green game has been very good. He's above average in fairways, gaining strokes off the tee. Irons have been extremely good. Something in the water down there in Sea Island. Him and Sepp and all these other Sea Island boys hitting it really well. But his short game has not been good. Would love to see that take a turn. But if it does, I think Grayson's got some serious potential and upside at that price. Another Sea Island boy, Ben Coles.
Yes.
Probably the best fairway finder in this field. And irons have been kind of spotty at times, but good putter historically. And, I think Ben Coles could pop and do something. So he's interesting to me down there. I already mentioned Norlander at 6,500. But also, finally, I'm going to end it on this. You know who sucked coming into this event last year? Peter Malnati.
Yes.
You know who sucks right now coming to this field? Peter Malnati. He's freaking minimum price. He's the minimum price, and he's the defending champ coming in the same form.
Kind of amazing.
And it's not like there's, again, it's kind of like Riley. It's not like there's no signs of life. I mean, he gained strokes on approach in the 2 rounds he played at the Players this week. For some, his putter's bad all of a sudden. He's kind of got the JT Poston 2025 going on, where normally, historically, a really good putter, he can't make a putt right now. But nonetheless, at 6K, you give me, even though it's Peter Malnati, I think it's worth a stab at it. He's going to be 2%. So
I can't even believe Peter Malnati is coming out of your mouth. But
hell, I might have Peter and Joe Highsmith in the same lineup.
It's the all hat team. I don't know, DB. I mean, this range. I like Matt McCarty a little bit. He doesn't really show up well in the models, but he's been playing well. Had a T20 last week. I do like him. I do like Davis Riley. I'm with you there. I don't know, DB. I think Justin Lauer is still playing well. He had a T38 last week. His game is still there. It's still there. He's been playing well. I think at 6,900, I could definitely put Lauer back in my lineups for sure.
Okay. Now I'm deep in the sauce scrolling Masters futures.
I think all you need to know is Seb Straka at 80-1.
That one might be a full send for sure. Jake Knapp made the cut in his first Masters last year, didn't he? He's 250-1.
I tell you what, Jake that's a good course for him because he can send it off the tee. He doesn't really have to do a whole lot. He's obviously got to putt well, but I think if he, what are his putting stats recently? Let's pull up Jake.
You do that. I'm continuing to look around clicking around. I mean, if old guy
gained 9 strokes putting last week.
Dude, he
is in his last 3.
Look at his putting on 2025. It's really good.
It's really good. Other than the Genesis and Pebble Beach, which are both on Poana. So I think I can throw those out.
I think Connors is very live too at 80. Jason Day's been playing really well. I know he withdrew, probably got the same thing I did.
Yeah.
He's at 80. I mean, if you
Pollen's going to be gone by the time the Masters comes around.
Yeah.
So then, I think you can bring J-Day back into the.
Plus, you got the older veteran Masters thing. That's a very real thing out there.
What's Neiman right now?
I was just looking at Neiman. He is 40.
It's a pretty
Cam
good number.
Smith,
but he doesn't play there great. He doesn't play great at the Masters.
He has seemingly underachieved to me at Augusta. But didn't he play well last year? Let me look. Yeah, well, T22 and T16 his last 2 years. Those are his 2 best finishes. No, he's 40. Cam Smith's 45. Lowry's 50. Zalatoris is 35. Brooks is 22. Bryson 18. Morikawa 18. Any of those get you?
I think of those probably Brooks, to be honest.
We'll have to see it closer too. Yeah. I don't know. I don't trust Brooks at this point yet. But all right, good stuff. Good show. Valspar 2025. Everybody have a great week. May your screens be green. Bend over your bookies. Our boy Matt Every will be back with us next week, as well as producer Tony. Have a great week. See ya. Out. Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.